girl Omolola Samuel, aka Lady Pearl, and today I am here to do just two things, which is the first of which is to say thank you. Thank you for the feedback, the comments, the support. Honestly, it's been overwhelming, and I am not taking it for granted. My team and I, we are not taking it for granted. We are super grateful. You know, some people even went the extra miles to share the video to family and friends. Honestly, I am grateful and I'm saying thank you. The other thing is, which is part of the feedback, is we have viewers who would like to share their story. They've reached out to say, how can we share our story? Yes, please, if you do want to share your story, please do well to send me an email. Use the email address showing right now on the screen, and I will respond back to you. Any of the team members will respond back. And we also have some people, some viewers who have said they want to come into the studio live. They want to share their story. And honestly, I'm super excited about that. Please, yes, we have there's opportunity, there's room for you to come into the studio to be part of the live session. Yes, please send an email using the email address showing right now on the screen. And the final part of it, which is something that makes me super excited as well, is we will be going live. Yeah. Please excited about that. We will be going live. I've had viewers who said they want to be part of the conversation, and we need to go live. So yes, we will be going live on YouTube, live on TikTok, and I will communicate the dates where we'll be having this discussions, this conversation. As we roll out the topics, we'll go live so that everybody, as many people who want to be part of the conversation, can join in and can have this conversation and learn. And that's me today. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Welcome back from that short break, and this time around we will be diving straight into the solutions to this problem. We've identified several issues. I'm coming to you, Mrs. Fadbola. When your spouse dismisses your concerns about how can you handle it without causing a deeper rift, because it's very sensitive now, how can you handle it?
Number one is communication. Yes. Very important, very open, honest communication. And I don't mean communication that you're shouting back and forth at each other. When it gets to that, just stop. But having a sit down or open conversation, this is what I'm feeling. This is what is happening. How are you feeling? Yes. But even aside of that, when we're talking about third party, a marriage is a form of third party.
A form?
Yes.
Okay.
It is not the worldly third party that we think of.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
It is a third party whereby it is God first,
yes. Okay.
The husband, and the wife.
Okay. I agree.
So there's nothing outside of that open and honest communication between the man and the wife. The next step you do is take it to God.
Yes. Okay.
That's your third party.
Take it to God.
God is your third party.
So God should be our third party.
Absolutely. Not even that should be. He is.
He is. God is our third party. Because He is not going to be biased. He will tell you the way it is. Because, you know, whilst you were talking, I thought of it. As a woman, if you have issues with your husband and you go to your parents, whose side are they going to take?
Oh, they'll definitely
take your side.
Yes. Parents will always support.
Yeah. Sometimes when you have like, oh, why you don't listen to your husband? But it's a lie. The truth of the matter is behind that tone. They're like still giving you all that, but they will say, but it's not. Because at the end of the day, they're always going to look out for the best interest of their own child.
That's correct.
Which is true.
That's correct.
So to without causing a deeper rift, you've said God is our third party. Go to God first.
Yes.
And the other point, or
communication.
Open and honest, effective.
Yes, effective communication. Yes, because communication can be
We
different.
can talk, but what are we actually talking about?
Yes,
about?
and I'm ready to talk. And then the other one
Yeah.
say, I'm not ready to talk. If you like, talk from morning till night.
Yeah, you're not going to make it.
But when your husband, I like what you just said, when your husband is not ready to talk, how do you, maybe I should come to you, how do you get him out? Because like you said, when you started, there are times your husband will tell you 75%, hold back the 25%, but he has to tell somebody the 25%.
Yes.
Or when your husband shuts down, he has a touch. How do you get him? You can tell when your husband has something to say or something isn't right. How do you get your partner to get him to talk, to open up?
Don't forget that men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And it simply means that we have different personalities. Men are people that internalize things. So men don't tend to want to talk about everything. If you find a man that is a talkative, it's a man that has come from a different background, right? Men generally are not ready to talk about every single thing that has happened. How I woke up this morning, what happened at work, and what I've come back from work, we want to talk again. They're like, I don't want to have that conversation. But every woman and every wife needs to be wise when it comes to how you deal with your partner. When we say men internalize things, it does not mean the man is dumb. No, there's no dumb man that in that aspect. The man can talk. The man can say something. The moment he opens his mouth, it will shock you that there are men you say don't talk. You need to go watch them when they're watching football with their friends.
Yes.
But you need to watch them when they're interacting with their friends. You're like, is that the husband I married that will talk more than what they say at home? It's just the space that they need. So for a woman to get her husband to talk, is that she has to look for things. I say this because you have to get yourself interested in what the man is interested in and use that situation to talk. We talk about effective communication. We discussed this earlier, where you must be very deliberate in things you do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So even as a woman, you need to, if you find out that your husband is not talking, I keep using the word set him up. I'm like, create opportunities.
Absolutely.
Is that you could say, why don't we have dinner one every week? Personally, I take my wife out every week on a date. If you're looking for me on a Wednesday evening, you're wasting your time. My wife waits for me, or my wife meets me up in the office. We have a date every Wednesday. My job is to look for a new restaurant. We don't do repeats. And we can go anywhere. I drove 45 minutes on Wednesday. And my wife was shocked that, where are we going? And I said, don't worry, I found somewhere new. Now, the reason is not where we're going. The journey itself. For 45 minutes, we were having conversations. Then we get there, the food is coming. We do the 10 minutes and we're there for 2 hours and we're talking. That is the opportunity. I'm saying women too could do that.
Oh yeah,
and you
that's
can say
what
to
you're
your husband,
intentional.
why don't we do this? And then the question is, what are we talking about? Everything we did not get to talk about. The gossip we want to gossip as a husband and a wife. That is the opportunity we do the gossip and talk about everything and everyone we know. What it does is that that's the conversation that you can pull things out of your husband. You can ask direct questions. In this scenario, we're saying, how should a woman engage the man? She should ask direct questions.
Yes.
Why is this woman involved in this marriage? Why does she need to pick my ring? What does she need to do this and do that? The concept is back to effective communication. I'm not just asking if she's your friend. I'm saying, how deep is this friendship that gets to this point? Because it is a threat to me.
Absolutely. Can I add to that, sir?
Yes, please.
Back to the story. Just like what myself just said. He has come back in. You're in your feelings, Believe me, nothing at that point that is being discussed is going to be effective.
That's right.
So, me as a woman, the best thing, let's just bring it back and enjoy this moment.
Yes.
And find another way to deal with. Me in particular, like you said, some men, they find it difficult to speak about difficult things. It's not because they're not intentional, they don't care.
They're just men.
Know how to just.
They're just men.
Because it's so hurtful, it's difficult to just push it. Sometimes I do that with my husband. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm not ready to have this conversation, but as a woman now. I'll like, no problem. But I will drop, like you have key points. The key points. It's not really the key points. You have the key point and you have the whole summary. Okay. I'll just go, this is the key point, this is key point, this is key point, this is key point. You're not ready to talk now, but we will talk about it. Now, why do I do this? Now, whether you're listening, you don't listen, whether you're ready to talk or you're not ready to talk, you already know
it's
the key point of things that I've got a problem with
That's
her.
right.
Okay.
That's right.
So even if it takes you 1 year, we will have that conversation. But I'm not going to have that conversation with you now because, and this is why couples, when they break up, there's just inconsiderable differences. Because he's not ready to talk about it, you're talking about it, you're both yelling at each other, you're not communicating about the problem now, you're not just abusing each other.
That's right.
Nothing gets
So you're not dealing with the issues.
you can never deal with the issues like that. Then what is happening? There's not disrespect not happening, there's not abusive words not happening, there's not hatred not coming in. Huh? And it's just gonna continue. So the main issues will never be dealt with.
Which is why, I mean, there's so many things that a woman like that can do. Beyond beyond talking, is that you have to know your husband's weak spots and weak moments. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Same way with your husband. You have to look for the times where your husband is more open to have those discussions. And you have to look for, because there are 24 hours in a day. And for the time that the man stays at home, there are going to be times that he's in a happy mood.
Yeah.
Maybe his best food. Maybe you think about what do you want to have for dinner, and I want to cook you something special.
Absolutely.
You get him in his most joyful mood. You can then have a conversation with him and bring that in. Or you look for things that it's interesting. Okay, you don't support Arsenal, but then your husband supports Arsenal. Why don't you get him a ticket to go to the Emirates? And then why don't you get 2 tickets to get to them? And you go with him, not because you want to watch football, but you know that it's going to excite your husband. From where I live to the Emirates, we still take you at least an hour and a half.
That's an opportunity.
In that train journey to get there are conversations we will have, knowing that the man is excited, he's wearing an Arsenal jersey, we're on the train, we're discussing, my wife is actually watching football with me, and then you get to the stadium, you rejoice, you're happy, whether they win, whether they lose, on your way back you do the same thing. You know, I can tell you this for a fact, all women should listen to this right now.
Absolutely.
When you get your husband in a position where he's the happiest, he's joyful, he's doing exactly what he loves to do, you will have that conversation with him, the man will listen to you. At that moment, you're the best wife ever.
Yeah. Can I have one more point? Because we're looking for solutions. And because sometimes women sometimes know that you. Likewise, you see, that point, you might think he's not listening. He's actually.
Oh, he's listening.
It's just at that particular time, he's not ready to talk about. So in this scenario with this lady now, the best one would have just been, my finger in your feelings, just let it go.
Yes.
Let it go. It's not that he hasn't heard what you're saying. It's not that he cannot visibly, because sometimes they're not even hearing, they can visibly see their hurt. You know, and then within himself will internalize that and do something about it. So sometimes when I think, because we're not getting the answer we want now, which is the problem, is that going on and on. But sometimes no, you've said it, and you've dropped it. That's a key point. I've said it, I've dropped it, leave it as that. He will internalize it on his own time. A wise man once said to me, when you're teaching or when you're preaching or when you're counseling, the best level of doing that is using yourself as an example. Because that's the only way you can relate. I had that with my husband. In fact, very early on when we got married. And especially this actual topic of a third party. And because to him, it was nothing, just a friend that I talked to that understands me. And I said, well, if I'm going to be your wife and I cannot understand you and someone is going to understand you better then you already know the sort of marriage that you want, which is going to be, we're going to be at home. You're going to be in a marriage on your own. I'm going to be in a marriage on your own. You can decide which one you want. That or we're in a marriage together. And that was it. But the thing is, he saw how much it hurt me. And
but now you had this conversation before.
No, but this was even right at the very beginning of our marriage.
Okay.
But we didn't agree on that day. He didn't agree because I can tell that the relationship meant a lot to him as well. But the ultimatum is, well, you either choose that or you choose this. I'm not going to decide for you.
So I'll give you a scenario that will help. It's interesting. So my wife is watching this now, she'll laugh. Because when I said to my wife that I was willing to date her and all of that, she had somebody who was prowling around her and the guy was always there all the time. So I knew that he had interest in dating her. But I had to take the quick step and say, let me do this before we get in.
That's it.
Now, after we got married, I realized that this was a good friend of my wife, and so my wife would call him about things because, they had a good talking relationship. So my trick, and I set her up, is that I began to get close to him.
That's it.
So I said, let me have his number, let me talk to him. And I'll say to you guys, can we hang out? And I will be like that. It's interesting. I'll tell you right now, this is years after. He's one of my best friends.
Ooh, absolutely.
I was his best man at his wedding.
Really?
I talked to the guy 10 times more than my wife would pick up a phone. So in other words, I dealt with the issue from the start. I didn't need to attack my wife. I don't need to afraid. But can't he be my friend too?
Absolutely.
And after a while, so she now will ask me, how is he? What is going on with him? And then I would say to her, this is what's good. I'm saying even women need to be wise.
Oh,
in this scenario,
absolutely.
a woman who realizes that her husband has a close female friend needs to say, hold on a sec, okay, why am I even bothering with my husband? Maybe the trick really is that why don't I start hanging out with the woman? When you start hanging out with her, you begin to know more things.
Absolutely.
When you start going there, then she begins to tell you more things.
Absolutely.
You will find out that at some point she drifts away, she becomes your friend.
Absolutely.
Or if she had ulterior motives or different intentions, she will cut off completely from both of you.
Absolutely. So that last point is the main point here of the story that I was saying to you. Because as a man, you think, oh, we're just having a conversation. If she needs to talk, I'm there. If she's also the hearing, I'm like, but do you know her intentions? And I think this was it. He didn't realize that. But the thing was, we had a discussion, we left it, you know. And I could see that it's gonna hurt him to cut this connection off. But when I mentioned that, do you know her intention? In fact, if anything, speak to her and know her intention.
The man would not stop her
from
getting close to his female friend unless he has an ulterior motive.
Yeah, and sometimes and the woman as well. So on this case, I don't know how you dealt with it, but I just saw that everything just cut off. Focus, everything cut off. And I realized, that was when I realized that, okay, the way this guy communicates is different from the way I communicate. He might say he's not ready to talk about it, he might say he's not listening, but he's actually, so I don't need to I will just put it out there and he will internalize it on his own and he will do it. So like this lady now, I can assure you, because you cannot be in a marriage and you intentionally want to see your wife hurt. So I can tell you that after that day, if she doesn't overdo it, whereby the disrespect is now on both sides, I'm sure he would have taken the hurt on her birthday to say, the woman is, this actually meant so much to her that I've never actually seen. And if that doesn't work, Uncle already said to call the girl the following day. My friend, let's go on the day.
And your friend too.
Whatever her intention is, she's not just like,
90% of the time, it will work.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So much. We've raised quite a number of solutions here, and I'm just going to mention them again. First is right from the start, when you identify this red flags, this third party signals, please address it right from the start. And you can't address it without creating clear boundaries. Another thing we mentioned here is communication. You have effective, not just communication, effective communication. Speak to each other, create the avenue, that right atmosphere where you will get the best out of your spouse. My pastor just said you can take your partner on a date. Anything that your partner finds of interest, show interest, create that atmosphere and have that difficult conversation. You definitely get the best out of your spouse. And then we also established your third party is God. Your third party is God. I can't overemphasize that because we've done to so much.
Prayer.
Oh yes.
When we say the third party is God,
that's prayer.
is that when you are in this kind of scenario, and I think you mentioned it earlier, is that first thing you need to do is to go on your knees.
Yes. Take it
the first thing you need to do is, here's the problem, you need to pray about it.
That's it.
If you need to, the Bible says this kind goeth not except by prayer. There are some situations that need you to seriously pray about it.
Absolutely.
That's when you pray about it on your own. That's the first thing. And then when you find out that, okay, I'm not really getting anywhere with my prayers, you need to get your husband to pray. If you have a Christian Bible-believing husband, you get him to pray with you.
Okay.
That is part of setting him up.
Mm.
In your prayer with him,
You bring
up the and God can actually avoid anything or external thing in the prayer. So he listens to you.
Absolutely.
You said you want to Well, I want to talk to God. Are you going to fight me for talking to God in what I'm about to express my
And you
situation?
cannot be upset after prayer.
You cannot be upset over prayer. So he must listen.
Jesus.
Now,
That's why God is the third.
if your husband refuses
You've seen what's happening in my home.
no, but
That's
if
true.
your husband is not even doing the prayer with you
Yeah.
at that point in time,
Yeah.
then you go the extra mile.
Yeah.
I say to a lot of people, don't you understand secret prayers?
At all.
Don't you know that you
Yes.
can wake up in the middle of the night?
Mm.
And don't you know that you could pray for your spouse even whilst they're sleeping?
Of course.
And if it is not enough, you go to another room and you finish the prayer. If he shifts or he moves, you go to another room, you finish.
Yeah.
But guess what?
Absolutely.
There is no spouse
Yes.
that you will stand up in the middle of the night to pray. You don't need to shout, scream, or anything.
Mm.
When you're walking around the room and you went, sorry, what are you doing? No, I'm praying. What are you praying about? That God will bless us and God will keep on. Will such a person tell you to stop praying?
No.
It's not possible. Just don't disturb me.
No.
I'm just praying on my own. So prayer comes first.
That's it.
It is when you finish praying, when you have prayed together, when you have done all of that, remember what we said, that at the point where you feel, okay, we're not resolving this, that's when you move
Counseling.
that's when you go to counseling.
counseling. Yeah. And godly counseling.
Godly
Godly
counseling.
counseling. Godly counseling.
Honestly, I can't add to anything you said. Go to God. And whilst talking to God, make sure that
You report.
you
Oh yes. I like the fact that you mentioned prayer because that's what we say. God, it means praying, communicating with God.
Yeah.
And anybody can do it in the way that they know how to do it. Like for
Yeah.
instance, myself, I like to go on long walks. When I go on long walks, I actually communicate with God.
Yeah.
If I really want to communicate, it's on my walks.
All right, thank you so much. I think we've dealt with these issues, and yes, viewers at home, I'm sure you've picked up so many lessons from today because I have, and I'm sure
I have too.
my guests have done that too. So it's on this note we will be wrapping up this.
Can I just say something? Sorry, it's just because the Holy Spirit
Yeah.
just put something on.
Okay.
Because we're saying take it to God.
Mm.
Do this. A believer, you
Yeah.
understand that would relate. But for our viewers out there that might not be believers, you know, in scenario like this, you've heard it, go to God, yes. But if you're like, oh no, I don't know what that is, okay, go for counseling.
Yes.
Counseling.
Seek
Seek
counseling.
therapy.
Yeah.
Seek you can go over NHS,
That's correct.
your
Yeah.
doctor, your GP, or you can even pay for it. There are lots of private marriage counseling out there. Go for counseling.
Thank you so much, Ma, for having that. So go to God, go for counseling, and yeah, God will help you fix that marriage. So it's on this note we will be wrapping up this episode, and please do well to drop your comments, your thoughts, your opinion, advice you have for this couple. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments section. And also, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and keep sharing this video so that others can learn as well. A big thank you to our guests for your time, and for sharing your wealth of knowledge and experience with us. We're so grateful. And on behalf of our sponsor, Pearls Clothing and Accessories, it asked us to give you this. It's a token, really, but just to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs.
Wow, thank you
We are
so
so glad to
much.
have you.
Yes.
And it's on this note we will be wrapping up today's episode. So please do drop your thoughts, your comments, your advice. Please drop it in the comment section and let's keep the conversation going. And also, please do well to like, subscribe, and share this video with others. I remain your humble host, Omolola Helsamo, aka Baby Home. And until next time, goodbye and God bless.
No, this is just you. This is
This
just
one is very wicked.
No, I don't want to cut from the presentation area. Ready?
From where now?
Just close your remark.
Just
On you alone.